Have you ever felt like you're chasing someone who's always running away while all you want is reassurance, love, and connection? Or maybe you've been on the other side, feeling overwhelmed, like you're being smothered by someone else's feelings and pulling away without really understanding why. If this sounds familiar, you may be in an anxious avoidant relationship, one of the most intense, confusing, and emotionally activating relationship dynamic out there. And in today's video, we're diving into what really happens when someone with anxious attachment style partners with someone who is avoidantly attached. And we are going to answer why this dynamic is both magnetic and deeply triggering. My name is Luna A. May, and I'm a life and attachment style coach and author of books on attachment styles. What attachment style are you? And understanding and overcoming anxious attachment. And my mission is to help people understand their emotional patterns and reconnect with the secure, loving relationships that they truly deserve. So let's start with what the anxious avoidant dynamic actually looks like. The anxious partner tends to crave closeness. So they want to feel connected, reassured, and emotionally in sync. So when they sense emotional distance or emotional withdrawal, their nervous system goes into overdrive. So they might text more, they might seek more validation, they might overthink every word or ask for more time together. On the other hand, the avoidant partner values independence. They often feel overwhelmed by emotional intensity. And when things start to feel too close, they instinctively pull away. And it's not to hurt the other person, but to feel safe. So, what happens in this dynamic? The more the anxious partner reaches out, the more the avoidant partner pulls back. And the more the avoidant pulls away, the more anxious the anxious partner becomes. So this is a cycle, and it's a painful cycle. But here is an interesting fact. Anxious and avoidant partners are often drawn to each other like magnets. So why is that? It's because on a subconscious level, each person is familiar to the other's nervous system. The anxious partner often grew up feeling like love had to be earned, that they had to do more to be loved. And the avoidant partner, on the other hand, often learned that closeness equals pressure or judgment. So distance felt safer to them. So when these two meet together, there's an instant chemistry. The anxious person feels the intensity and thinks, this is it. The avoidant partner feels the same spark, but quickly becomes overwhelmed. And the pattern begins. So let's bring it down to a real life example. So let's say Emma is anxiously attached and dating Luca, who leans avoidant. In the beginning, everything between them feels electric. Intense eye contact, vulnerable conversation, constant texting late into the night. Thanks to this, Emma feels seen, she feels cherished, and Luca feels intrigued, maybe even surprised by how connected he feels. But as the weeks go by, things start to shift because Emma wants more consistency. She needs daily good morning messages, regular calls, and planning ahead. For her, this builds trust. But for Luca, it starts to feel like pressure. So the very things that made the connection so special now feel overwhelming. So Luca starts withdrawing subtly. He responds with fewer words, or he forgets to reply for hours. He might even cancel a date with a vague excuse about work. He doesn't mean to hurt her, but he's just trying to regulate his own nervous system. And Emma, on the other hand, feels it instantly because she feels the emotions instantly. The tone of his messages changes. The pauses between replies get longer. So she starts replaying their last conversation in her mind, wondering what she said wrong. Her anxiety spikes and she texts again. Are you okay? Did I do something wrong? And her attempts to reconnect come from love, but to Luca, they feel like pressure. So he pulls even further away. He says that he needs space, that he's not sure he can do this right now. This makes Emma heartbroken because the emotional ups and downs leave her completely drained. One day she felt like they were building something real, and the next she's second guessing every interaction. She starts blaming herself, wondering if she was too needy, too intense, or too emotional. The self-doubt creeps in not just about Luca, but about whether she's even worthy of lasting love. She feels rejected and like she has to work harder to win him back. And Luca, he feels cornered, like no matter how kind he tries to be, it's never enough. He misses her, but the idea of returning feels like walking back into the store. Neither of them intended for this to happen, but both are acting from deeply embedded survival patterns. Because you need to know that this dynamic activates deep core wounds. So these wounds for anxious partner are I'm not enough, I'm too much, or I'll be abandoned. And for the avoidant partner, on the other hand, it's I'll be controlled or I'll lose myself. Both are running from pain, but in totally opposite direction. This is why this relationship feels like a constant push and pull. Each person is trying to protect themselves, but their protection triggers the other's fear. So the question is, can this dynamic work long term? Yes, but only with deep self awareness, honest communication, and emotional healing. Anxious avoidant couples can work, but not if both people are in survival mode. There has to be willingness to understand your own patterns and regulate your nervous system. So, for example, for the anxious partner, it might be practicing pausing before texting 5 times in a row and learn to self soothe in moments of anxiety. And for the avoidant partner, it might start by just staying in the room during emotional conversations instead of shutting down or leaving. These small moments of staying with discomfort build trust over time. And healing starts with awareness. But of course, awareness is alone isn't enough. If you are the anxious partner, healing begins when you notice your anxiety rising and you consciously choose, even once, not to chase. So let's say your partner takes longer to respond. Instead of spiraling into panic or overtexting or overthinking, you pause, you journal, you check in with your own body. You ask yourself, what story am I telling myself right now? And you begin to develop new ways to self soothe, not by cutting off your needs, but by tending to them first. And if you're the avoidant partner, healing begins when you feel the familiar urge to pull away. And instead of ghosting or withdrawing, you take a breath and say, this is hard for me, but I want to stay in this conversation. Or maybe you're not ready for that yet, but you send a message saying, I care about you. I just need a little time to process. That's what rewiring looks like. Not becoming someone different, but responding differently to the same trigger. And together, whether you're the anxious, the avoidant, or both trying to find your way, healing means practicing co-regulation. That might look like holding hands for a tough moment, staying emotionally available during conflict, or being honest about your needs before the resentment builds. Because remember that secure love isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing to stay with yourself, with your partner, and with the emotions you used to run from, one moment at a time. If you are in an anxious avoidant relationship or keep attracting this pattern, know that it's not because you're broken. It's because you've learned a way to survive that now needs to evolve. When you become aware of your pattern and take small steps to shift it, you change your relational blueprint and everything else begins to change as well. Thank you for being here and see you in the next video.